Are you currently applying for U.S. citizenship or planning to start the process soon? If so, you need to hear this because something very important could impact your case. Many immigrants believe that once they submit their application, the hardest part is over. But here's the truth. USCIS has been quietly increasing audits on citizenship applications, and if your file is flagged, your dream of becoming a U.S. citizen could face unexpected delays or even denial. So, what exactly is an audit? It's when USCIS takes a much deeper look at your application, your background, and even your past immigration history. This isn't just a quick review, it's a thorough check to confirm every detail you've provided. They might request additional evidence, interview you more intensely, or recheck old records. And here's the kicker. Even a small mistake, missing document, or inconsistency, something you might not even realize, can raise red flags. The good news? You can absolutely prepare yourself and avoid unnecessary problems. In this video, I'm going to explain why these audits happen, what USCIS looks for, and the steps you can take right now to protect your case. Whether you're just starting your N400 application or you're waiting for your interview, this information could save you time, stress, and even money. So, if you're serious about your citizenship journey, stay tuned because this could make all the difference. And before we dive in, do me a quick favor, hit that like button right now. It tells YouTube to share this important information with more immigrants just like you, and it helps support this channel so I can keep bringing you the updates you need. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Great. Let's jump right into it, because this topic is not only important, it's critical for anyone going through the citizenship process. Now, as I mentioned earlier, USCIS has been stepping up its audits. You might be asking yourself, why are they doing this? Well, there are a few reasons. First, they want to make sure that every single person who gets approved truly meets all the requirements. This isn't just about paperwork. It's about making sure that applicants have followed immigration laws from the very beginning. In recent years, there's been a growing focus on preventing fraud, catching mistakes, and even rechecking old cases where something might have slipped through the cracks. Unfortunately, this means that even honest applicants, who have done everything right, can sometimes find themselves under extra scrutiny. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you've spent years building your life here in the United States. You've worked hard, paid your taxes, and followed every rule. You finally submit your N400 form, feeling excited and maybe a little nervous. Then, out of nowhere, you receive a notice from USCIS asking for additional evidence or scheduling a second interview. Your heart drops. You start wondering, did I make a mistake? Did I forget something? These are the moments when understanding how audits work can save you a lot of anxiety. Because when you know what to expect, you can prepare in advance and handle the situation with confidence. So, let's talk about what USCIS is actually looking at during an audit. They review everything: your immigration history, your travel records, your employment, even your tax filings. They want to confirm that the information you provided matches their records. If there's any inconsistency, no matter how small, it could trigger questions. For example, maybe you traveled outside the US for more than 6 months and forgot to mention it. Or maybe there's a discrepancy between the address on your tax return and the address you listed on your application. These small details might not seem like a big deal, but to USCIS, they can be significant. Now, don't panic, because the majority of applicants who prepare carefully have nothing to worry about. The key is to be completely truthful and double-check every single piece of information you submit. If you're not sure about something, get help from a trusted immigration attorney or an accredited representative. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people try to fix little mistakes on their own, only to make things worse. Remember, USCIS officers are trained to spot inconsistencies, so honesty is always the best policy. Another thing you should know is that audits can sometimes involve what's called a fraud detection review. This doesn't mean they think you're lying, it's just part of their process to verify applications more thoroughly. They might even review old immigration applications you submitted years ago, like when you first got your green card. If they find any discrepancies between what you said back then and what you're saying now, they'll ask questions. This is why it's so important to be consistent and to provide explanations if something doesn't match perfectly. Life is complicated, addresses change, jobs change, circumstances change. USCIS understands that, but they need to see the full picture. Now, let's talk about the emotional side of this, because I know many of you watching might be feeling stressed just hearing about audits. And that's completely normal. Applying for citizenship is already a huge emotional journey. You've worked so hard to reach this point, and the idea of someone digging into every detail of your life can feel overwhelming. But here's what I want you to remember. Audits are not meant to scare you. They're part of the process to make sure that everyone who becomes a U.S. citizen truly qualifies. If you follow the rules and you're honest on your application, you have nothing to fear. So how can you make sure you're ready in case your case gets audited? Start by gathering all your documents and keeping them organized. That means your green card, your passport with travel stamps, your tax returns, proof of residency, employment records, anything that shows your continuous presence in the U.S. and that you've been following the law. If USCIS asks for additional evidence, you'll be ready to provide it quickly. Also, make sure you understand your own application. You'd be surprised how many people forget what they wrote on their forms and then get nervous during the interview. Take some time to review your answers so you can confidently explain them if asked. Another big tip: be prepared for your interview. Sometimes, an audit just means they'll ask you a few extra questions during your interview. Stay calm, listen carefully, and answer honestly. If you don't understand a question, it's okay to ask for clarification. It's much better to take a moment and respond correctly than to guess and risk giving the wrong information. And remember, officers are people too. They're doing their job, and they respect applicants who are prepared and cooperative. Now, let me share something that not many people talk about. There have been cases where USCIS audits uncovered mistakes made by the government itself, not the applicant. Yes, it happens. Sometimes old records are incorrect or incomplete, and the audit is a way to clear things up. This is why having copies of your own records is so important. Don't rely solely on USCIS to have everything correct. You should have your own file with all your immigration history. I also want to address one more thing that's been on many immigrants' minds. What happens if USCIS does find a problem during an audit? Well, it depends on the issue. If it's something minor, like a missing document, they'll usually send you a request for evidence, or RFE, giving you a chance to fix it. If it's something more serious, like a major inconsistency, they might schedule a second interview or even start a deeper investigation. In very rare cases, they could issue a notice of intent to deny. But again, this usually only happens if there's clear evidence of fraud or if the applicant doesn't meet the requirements. The bottom line is this: if you've been honest and you meet the eligibility criteria, you should be fine. I know this is a lot to take in, but I want you to leave this video feeling empowered, not scared. Knowledge is power. The more you know about how audits work, the better prepared you'll be. You've worked so hard to get to this stage, and you deserve to become a U.S. citizen without unnecessary stress. So take the time to review your application, gather your documents, and stay informed. You've got this. And here's one last piece of advice: don't go through this process alone. Join immigrant support groups, ask questions, and share your experiences. There's a whole community of people who have gone through the same thing and can offer guidance. And of course, keep watching videos like this one, because I'm here to keep you updated every step of the way. So, if you found this information helpful and you want to stay ahead of any surprises during your citizenship journey, make sure you hit that like button right now. It really helps this video reach more people who need it, just like you. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future updates on immigration and citizenship. Stay strong, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.